Hey, Stephen here from Brau Supply, and today I'm going to explain the features and benefits and how to use the ETC controller. So the ETC controller is a simple switching controller with cooling and heating functions, which is what we mean when we say dual stage. It's very easy to operate. It has no timing features, and that alone is kind of beautiful in its simplicity. I can use an iPhone for most of my timing features, so that doesn't worry me a bit. In the front, you can see that it's got two switches, and the top switch here has got a mash and a boil mode with an off switch. So you're going to want to have that in your default position, and a pump switch. Now, when we move it into mash, the mash is controlled by the display here. When we move it into boil mode, it completely bypasses the display and it brings full power to the element. So that's an important thing to understand. You don't need to increase the temperature when you go into boil mode with a controller like this. You simply just have to switch it to boil and it'll bypass all of these features. So it's designed to be used, with our 120 volt elements, and it's got also a couple of little buttons on the front. First, I'll explain the pump. Very simple. It's an on and off switch. Now, on the back display, we have heat, cool, and pump. So if you're going to be controlling a cooling device such as our solenoid temperature control kit, you can plug that into here, and your heating element would go here, and your pump there, and sensor connection. It's important when connecting the sensor that the red tip goes in the controller, and this is why we've got a color-coded red tip. And then here is your power connection. So you want to have that plugged in all the way. On this small front face is the features for setting it. So it's very simple to set. And you hit the set button and you can up and down the temperature and then hit set and return, and it goes back to the main display. Okay, so it's very simple to do. Now what I want to talk about is the control panels that are inside this unit. So I'm pressing the set button, and you press it until you see the display change. It says F00. And F00 is cooling differential. So if you want to change that, or if that matters, it's set to 1 degree right now. You can up and down with the arrows and then press set again. And the cooling differential essentially is, if it's 1 degree, it means that if it deviates 1 degree off your set temperature, it'll enact the cooling solenoid, or it'll enact the cooling output, and that only affects the cooling outlet on the back of the controller. You press set again. Set brings you in. Set brings you out. Now it's F00. Now we'll go to F01, and that's the up arrow. And F01 is a heating differential. So this is how accurate you want to maintain, for example, your mash temperature. Press set, and I've got it set to 0.4 degrees. It might be a little bit tight there. Maybe you're best off at around 0.8 degrees or 1 degree for heating differential. Press set again, and it brings you out. Press the up arrow, and now we're at F02. This is compressor delay. Generally not applicable with the Unibrau brewing system, but if you're, let's say, using an air conditioner of sorts or a glycol chiller on the cooling side, you may want to adjust the parameters on F02. F03 is the low temperature set limit. So generally, this is unimportant. I don't even look at what this does, but it's there for you in case you want to change it. High temperature setting limit. So again, this is the highest temperature setting that you can allow on it. So at default, it's set to 212. I don't think we we need really to worry about that too much. Now I'll press up to F05. F05 is your temperature calibration. Again, these units are pre-calibrated fairly accurately. I find when users try to attempt to quote-unquote fix the calibration, they tend to just make things not work as well as they do out of the box. So I generally leave that one alone. F06 is alarm temperature high limit. And so this is your alarm, your high limit temperature. So it's set to 206 degrees. Sometimes people want to know why it's beeping at 206 degrees. This is why. And every time it drops below 206 and it comes back up to 206, it will beep again. And so if you don't want it to beep as it's approaching boil, you can change that. So this one's set to 204 degrees. If you don't want it to be approaching boil, you can just bring it right to above 212 degrees. You bring it to 215 degrees and it won't beep for you at all. I like to have a little bit of an alert as I'm approaching boil. So, I'll set it to, let's say, 208 degrees and it beeps me. It beeps kind of. Actually, no, I want to set it a little bit less than that. We'll set it to 204 degrees. So if the temperature, if you want to shut that alarm off, you can just press the reset button here in the bottom when it is beeping. That's in operation. F07 is alarm temperature low limit. So again, its default is set pretty darn low. That's 30 degrees. I don't really bother with it. I keep it nice and low because it's generally not needed. And then we've got one more F8, and that really, it hasn't been assigned anything. So you can just bypass that and it brings you to F0. So that's that. And I believe if we just press reset, yes, it worked. It goes back to the original screen. That's everything with the ETC controller. If you like this video, please comment below. If you want to see more videos and you've got ideas for us, please put those in the comments below. Share it, like it, subscribe to us. Thanks for watching. Catch you next video. Bye.